Welcome, Ruchi. It's very nice to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And I'd like to start off with a quick introduction for Ruchi. So, Ruchi is someone who not just is the agency lead from Facebook, but as a professional, she comes with 12 plus years of business experience in business development as well as direct sales and sales strategy across various channels and specializing in general trade, modern trade, and e commerce, as well as advertising. She is extremely skilled in market planning, consumer products, retail, go to market strategies, digital advertising, and uh, business development overall. And she has effectively been leading sales team through her career, also been responsible for profit and loss in varied business contexts. So today we have Ruchi with us here to discuss and present to us on with some key insights on how to drive growth with Facebook, keeping the festive season in context. So over to you, Ruchi.
Thank you so much, Tuhina. If you could just give me a thumbs up if I'm audible.
You are audible.
Awesome. And thank you for such a warm introduction. I think I'm going to just borrow from that and put on my LinkedIn because I never realized I have done so much in my career. But thank you so much for that. And I love the energy on the group. And I want to start with the cue on the second question on the quiz, which Dhruhi ran, where 63% of the respondents believed that Facebook has the maximum reach in social media. So I just feel happy about the fact that that is top of mind recall for the audience here. And I'm going to start with that. So thank you for setting it up. I am just going to share my screen. Please confirm if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, it is visible. Maybe you want to draw it
Awesome.
full screen.
Yeah, super. Thank you. So as Tuhina mentioned, I manage the agency, digital agency business for Facebook in India, and have very, very closely worked with small and medium businesses all throughout my career. And that's an area I'm super passionate about. So, nothing gives me more joy than a small business owner just letting me know that, the profitability which they manage to get help them employ a boy who could do packaging for their deliveries, right? Which they were earlier doing themselves, or somebody sharing that they could go ahead and give a hike to their employees because of what they did with the festive season in Diwali. So nothing gives me more joy than helping small businesses get successful. And just going to spend some time with all of you guys, sharing with you on recommended approach from Facebook and the insights we've got to help you guys win with your consumers this festive season. I'm going to start with, and I know that we've heard a lot of how things have changed during this year. So I'm straight up going to jump into some key insights on the consumer behavior and what does it imply for us. Through the course of the presentation, you will also see some case studies of brands having done some of these innovations and wins with their consumers. So, let me start with the first one, which is slightly contrary to what we would have thought when COVID kicked off. Like on the previous deck, we saw that festivities were all about large gatherings. So all of us would be believing that everything happening virtually, how will demand look like? So all the studies we've done in collaboration with BCG and other partners suggests that there is going to be a potential demand surge. Keep shopping events are going to be more important and lucrative than ever. Early signs on Flipkart and Amazon sales also already suggest a huge demand surge. The second insight, I think all of us are staying in our homes. It's challenging times. We've stopped calling it new normal anymore because it's the normal now. But, they are very, very difficult and challenging times. So festive shopping kind of instills a little positive outlook in the current times. So people want to start early. Also digital dependence, right? So Indians discover and purchase their favorite brands on Facebook family of apps. Nothing testifies this answer for me more than the quiz question I was talking about, where it is top of mind recall for most of us when we are trying to discover new brands. So the role of mobile becomes continuing to be important. Also rise of experiences, right? During the deck, we're going to talk about how virtual experiences and made for social videos inspire action among shoppers. So how do you move from driving awareness to purchase decisions? Is the journey a lot of brands are now taking through experiences, and we're going to talk about that. New content equation. We heard a lot about the role which vernacular plays in the resonating with festive shoppers. To also enable our SMB businesses in India, we have launched an SMB toolkit in Hindi, which will follow in various languages. So the role of vernacular continues to become important and much more relevant in a country like India. Last but not the least, I heard the previous conversation about WhatsApp. So how conversational commerce continues to gain momentum is something, again, we're going to touch upon as we walk through these insights. Jumping onto the first insight in terms of potential surge in demand. So, all throughout this year, we've been delaying some of the decisions because we wait for promotions. These phenomena started in US with Black Fridays, Cyber Mondays, these concepts. But with a lot of e-commerce in India, and even prior to that, if I remember early 2000s, when Big Bazaar and other modern trade players started to enter our market, Sabse Saste Panch Din was one of their events which started during Independence Day. So, there's been a lot of consumer shift in the way people plan their purchases, and people wait for promotions, specifically on high ticket items, so which include technology purchases and luxury purchases. This year, basis a study, we've kind of established that 26% people who delayed their technology purchases will now wait for promotions. And as we speak, those promotions are on. 11% people who delayed their luxury purchases will now wait for promotions. So whether it is about upgrading your mobile phone to the new iPhone, or it is about thinking about buying a new car, or it is about jewelry shopping for the upcoming wedding season, those purchases were delayed. And who would have thought one of the most traditional categories of shopping, which was jewelry, also is gaining so much traction online, thanks to the digital evolution over the last couple of years, which has been superly accelerated by what happened this year due to COVID pandemic. So a lot of purchase decisions are being made as we speak. I think this year is a season of hope, and with a lot of positive leading indicators. Starting off, people usually come with the mindset of calling out metros as their focus areas or tier 1 cities. But if we see, even in categories like consumer products and auto, there has been a rural boost. There is a 13% increase in the growth for agriculture sector in 2020 versus a 5-year average of 9%. So clearly, rural sector will continue to fuel the growth in Indian economy. Tier 2 and 3 towns, there are super positive indicators for e-commerce. If we go out and read all the reports published by Myntra, Amazon, 86% increase in customers from tier 2 and 3 towns in Myntra in the recent sale. Amazon continues to call out that during the first few days, they ship to 99.5% pin codes across India or even more. But that's really the e-commerce penetration, which is going up in tier 2 and tier 3, driving growth for some of these platforms. And also pent-up demand, which is what we covered in detail. 45% growth, in Chroma sales post Unlock 1, where people, of course, are being cautious, but there is still, growth in the demand owing to the pent-up demand which has been there. Let's get a little specific into category level insights, because that might help some of the brand managers, some of the advertisers with us to apply some of these learnings to their categories. There, 40% of consumers are planning to increase online spend in apparel. I think apparel is again one of those categories where people typically like to go to a store, try out a clothing. For example, I have never done my festive shopping online because I would typically like to go explore the new range, try out and see how it is suiting me, right? But 40% consumers are planning to do it online. I've already done that. 40% of consumers planning to increase spend will expect discounts and promotions during apparel shopping. So even if you see all the sales going on in the platform, there are specific festive sales. If you look at Myntra, Biba is sponsoring their festive store. So, you know, there are specific thematic sales going on right now. But one of the key points consumers are looking at is discounts and promotions. Contrary to that, if I look at food as a category, which again used to be typically be a trip to our nearby Kirana store, we would go both for our basket purchases as well as replenishment purchases. 80% of consumers are planning to increase or maintain spends for fresh food and staples. That's a phenomenal number for a country like India, where, you know, 60 to 70% of our retail landscape has always been mom and pop stores. This is a significant shift. If we look at 60% of consumers are planning to increase or maintain spends for packaged food. We are working in an environment where the boundaries between work and life are thinning. And also the time being spent on various other things, including hobbies, is going up. And in fact, a lot of people, if you follow Instagram, a lot of influencers are talking about new food habits. A lot of, you know, various recipes are being uploaded at various places. Packaged food play an important role in some of these as well. So this trend is also catching up. And if you look at consumers who have purchased food related subcategories online during lockdown, 80% of those consumers are going to continue. So what gives us a lot of confidence in this trend shift is that it's not one spike, but it will continue to stay for a while as consumers have started to see the benefit of the convenience which this platform provides to them. Also, if we look at a very, very different category, which is home care, 48% of consumers are planning to increase or maintain spends for this category given the focus in hygiene. Now, some of these might not be top of mind recall on an ongoing basis, but owing to the current health situations, I think this is going to stay. Did we lose my screen?
No, the screen is visible.
Okay, sorry, my bad. 48% of consumers are planning to maintain those spends, you know, over the next few months. Let's move into some other sectors like banking. I heard a few questions on BFSI in the earlier conversation. So here are some insights. 60% of consumers say that they will use digital wallets more than usual in the next 6 months. So there has been an incredible increase in the penetration of digital wallets in the current context. 50% will say that they will use net banking more than usual in the next 6 months, right? So across, if we see, you know, across various categories, including mobile and auto, there is close to 40 to 50 to about 80% increase in the demand. And across the board, consumers are saying that this pattern is going to continue. So it has led to a permanent shift in the consumption habit of the consumers we are talking to. And, you know,
just interrupting you here, while you speak of all the categories, auto has seen a sort of hit in the recent past, but you know, the studies here are showing that 50% of the consumer are planning to increase spend and expect a discount on four-wheelers. So
yes.
How do you see that happening?
Sure. So, you know, like I covered in my previous slide, you know, auto typically is classified in most Indian consumers' mind as a luxury and a high value product. So these are categories where the consumers have deferred the decision for purchase. And we should start seeing an increase in sales across auto segment over the next 3 to 6 months. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Awesome.
it does. Thank you. Let's move on.
Thank you. No surprises, you know, 57% of consumers, you know, 57% of consumers believe that Facebook family of help them discover offers during festive season. In the chat box, I would request all of you guys to just type in if you believe that Facebook family of apps help you discover offers during festive season. We have some. Awesome. Thank you for that. Moving on to the next insight. This is more psychological and emotional aspect to all of us, right? We've been bored. I think when lockdown started, the first thing we wanted to do was to get used to the new normal. Working, just trying to set up boundaries between work and life, ensuring that we're able to collaborate with our colleagues remotely. Also constantly having the anxiety and fear of what will happen if I get COVID. I think, that was the initial couple of months when we got into this lockdown. I think followed by that, people started, all of us, and let me talk about my journey. I started gathering myself together, thought that, given that we are working from home, I am now trying to balance and balance my work better. Should I start looking at something which helps me add value to myself? Do I want to resurface new hobbies? Do I want to bring something up? And I started doing things which I did not get time for over the last couple of years, but I've been extremely passionate about doing. Cooking was one of them. Learning to play piano was a dream I had for a very long time, so I started pursuing that as well. Festive shopping is the next thing, I am now looking forward to over the last few weeks, because it's a positive outlet for me. In absence of what we can do to keep our mind sane, I think festive shopping plays a very, very big role. And let's talk about how it does that. I think one of the things we all should agree with, and I'm sure as advertisers you would have already started to do, is 16% of consumers start shopping at least 6 to 8 weeks before Diwali. And if we see the common trends, millennials from 25 to 39 years of age, almost 50% of them start early shopping. And no surprises, but early shoppers spend more. If you see, typically the Amazon and the Flipkart sales used to last for anywhere between 8 to 10 days over the last couple of years in India. If you see this time, it is almost a month. Our studies also suggest that consumers who begin shopping earlier spend more. So if you look at some data points, consumers who began shopping in September or before are likely to spend 21,000, while those beginning shopping in October, 18,000, and people who will probably start spending in November will be slightly lower than that. And 74% start shopping at least 2 weeks before Diwali, which is where we are already right now. So 3/4 of our consumers are already spending. If our campaigns are not up, we're missing out on 3/4 of the ecosystem we are catering to. And the interesting bit is that it doesn't stop at Diwali. If you see across gifts, self-gifting, last-minute shopping, holiday shopping, this trend continues to, continue actually. So it's an interesting time for all the brand marketeers to actually start their campaigns across the funnel, which is full funnel. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, if you have already not done that. Sales conversion happen on Facebook family even after Diwali. So, things like Black Friday, we believe are only for US, but the time is festive in India as well. Given its typical Christmas break, last week of the month, we see spikes there. Then there is Christmas sale, and then Republic Day sale early January. So the festive trend is only going to continue at least till January end. So the key takeaways we have from this section of the sentiment of consumers wanting to get positivity: Indians are really looking forward to sales events. And as Indians, we are very, very value conscious shoppers. So really looking forward to promotions and discounts. We spoke about some category insights. Like you rightly called out, auto right now has not seen an uptick, but it will see a potential uptake is what our optimism is. And 57% of our consumers believed Facebook family of apps, play a leading role in helping consumers discover offer during sale events. Let's get into how do we spoke about demand is going to increase. We need to create positive sentiment because the consumers are looking for that. Now let's get into how does digital dependence, how do we play as a role, as an ecosystem, what is the role we play in ensuring consumers get this and in ensuring brands get to their consumers. No surprises, mobiles are on the rise in 2020. We have seen 16% increase in the smartphone screen time, this is data as of May versus pre-COVID. 364 million people access Facebook every month. So like these are astounding numbers. And if our brands were to get to 10% or 15% of these numbers in terms of the reach, I think we have done our job on distribution. Coming from a sales and distribution background before SMB and advertising, I can guarantee that one of the biggest challenges most brands face is how to get to maximum consumers in the least possible cost and in the most efficient manner. So I think this is a great platform for us to get there. Facebook and Instagram influence nearly 80% of Gen Z and millennials. If you see the graph chart up there, approximately 79% of millennials, Facebook influentials on Facebook, and on Instagram about 54%. So cumulatively, if we look, it's about 80% influence across our family of apps. And Indians say that Facebook family of apps is the #1 online source for discovery and evaluation. We did a consumer study by Kantar Profiles, and we looked at across categories, whether we look at a highly personalized category of beauty and personal care, where ideally you would want to know the technicalities of the product because you're going to apply it on your face, on your skin, on your hair. So it's a very, very deep engagement category. Or you look at consumer electronic products where, it's technology driven and also very, very price sensitive, because the benefit communication becomes extremely important. Why should I buy an ultra 4K TV versus a QLED is a question brands would need to answer. Or if I look at grocery, which is an everyday shopping, which is more like as I spoke about, trip to a mom and pop store, or trip to a hyper city or a Spar or a big bazaar for a monthly basket purchase. Or it's a segment like auto, which is right now seeing some kind of headwinds because of COVID. Across these categories, consumers have said that Facebook is their #1 online source to discover and evaluate, and hence the role Facebook plays in the purchase decision for the brands. Our key takeaways from this insight has been mobile influence has increased more than ever, and Facebook family of apps influences the consumer purchase decision. I think what should we do leveraging these insights? We should build full funnel campaigns on Facebook because we're not only driving sales, but we're also helping consumer through their discovery and evaluation journey. And hence, if we are already not doing that, SocialBeat has been a great partner for us in helping brands drive full funnel. Work with Beat, Vikas, Sunil are advocates of full funnel as a solution. And we would look forward to SocialBeat's partnership to help the brands they work with drive the full funnel campaigns and also drive commerce with IG shopping. Let's walk through.
For the mention, Ruchi.
Thanks, Tuhina. Let's walk through a few examples of what a few brands did and how did they drive full funnel campaigns on Facebook. FBB, which is the fashion business of Big Bazaar, they created an interactive web series on Instagram stories during Durga Puja to drive their in-store sales. So they literally leveraged IG stories as a platform and drove in-store sales. Vodafone Play drove app installs with Facebook awareness and conversion campaigns, again, upper funnel activity to drive app installs, which will eventually help them drive conversion. Honda drove car sales with awareness and conversion campaigns on Facebook. And across the board, if you see, the numbers are astounding, right? 4x ROAS, 50% increase in sales, 43% lift in installs, and 28% increase in coupon redemption rate, which essentially means that in-store sales increased to that level, right? That was their metric of how they tracked increase in the footfall. So across the board, full funnel solution, whether you look at fashion or you look at telecom or auto, across the board, we have seen benefit of, improved performance as we drive full funnel solutions. Awesome. Moving on to while we covered the basics, right, where we leverage mobile and drive full funnel to ensure that we are able to leverage our consumer journey in the entire spectrum. Let's look at some of the innovations we can do to improve the consumer experience. And virtual experiences, specifically in the current time, are playing, even a stronger role than what they were doing earlier. AR, VR are brilliant examples, and we will see some examples of brands leveraging those innovations. But no surprises, let's talk about the role which video is playing, because video is the starting point of an experience for a consumer. 89% of our consumers in social media feeds across Facebook and Instagram post or watch videos online during festive season. 75% of them do it on Instagram stories, and 90% of them, have them over WhatsApp, with their families, with their friends. So video viewing habits on Facebook family of apps has significantly increased, and just like, as a consumer, intuitively, it's just more engaging for me, right? If you see even the online platforms for apparels for various categories, in their catalog listing details, they've actually started to put videos of models wearing their products, so that the consumers actually can almost feel like a virtual experience of trying that product. So video is a very, very innovative and engaging way of us driving the right experience with our consumers. And videos during festivity cannot be, emphasized more through demo videos, which is what I spoke about. 50% of consumers, almost 50% of consumers believe that looking at videos give them new ideas about gifts to buy. They get them into a mood of a holiday, and they emphasize families. So just make the entire experience stronger for consumers, right? Let's look at some solutions where you can leverage in-stream for your video ads and also get consumers involved through interactive playable ad formats. Is it?
Yeah, it is visible. If you're trying to play a video, it's not playing.
Okay. Just 1 second. Sorry for that. Now?
12 साल भारत का नंबर 1 आटा ब्रांड आशीर्वाद आटा लाया है आटा लॉटरी। हर दिन 96 परिवार जीत सकते हैं 12 महीने का आशीर्वाद आटा। बस मिस्ड कॉल दीजिए और पैक के साथ अपनी फैमिली सेल्फी व्हाट्सएप कीजिए।
Let's look at an example of a AR filter used by a brand. Is it audible?
It is visible, not audible. You'll have to pull up the volume. Very interesting.
The other thing, obviously, the brands do with this video is the audio on off, because if somebody is just browsing through their phones and might not want to hear videos, there is obviously this video on off, which is again used very explicitly by brands.
Right about that. A lot of videos these days are thought from that perspective, where whether or not you have the audio on, the impact of the video still remains.
Yeah, so exactly, the content on the video is just so engaging and so self-explanatory that even if you don't have audio on, you're able to make the most out of what the video is wanting to talk about. Let's look at a couple of examples of interactivity through playable ads and polling ads on Facebook. The first example is with the brand OnePlus. Do let me know if you're able to see the moving. I'm keeping the audio off on this, but if you're able to see the playables moving on the screen.
Yeah, the visuals are moving. It's playing.
Awesome. So guys, those were some examples of, how we could make the experiences more engaging through videos, through AR filters, and through playable and polling ads. Moving on to the next section on vernaculars, I think we spoke about a lot on how language continues to become important and how authentic and vernacular content resonates with festive shoppers. Let's look at some insights into what consumers want to, see in terms of content. So shoppers seek authenticity, right? And when it is in their local language, they can relate better to the content. Like, I come from Delhi, and typically any content in Hindi, kind of just opens up my mind to what that content is wanting to talk about. Shoppers like to see content that is informative. So the information is the first bit, is real and authentic. So again, one of the reasons influencer marketing is, booming so much in the current times is because people do want to see real, authentic stories and not models who are just doing an advertising for commercial purposes, right? People want to see content which updates them on latest offers and sales. As I spoke about, we are a deal seeking nation, for lack of a better word, and continuing to know what's happening latest in terms of sales and promotions is something consumers are interested in. Creativity, I think, can't emphasize more. I think that number is 38%, but it is hygiene. Any content which is not creatively appealing or it is not engaging tends to lose the shopper focus also in the current time, right? Because everything is available digital and all brands are there. So just the fight for that mind space of consumer is so much that creativity breaks that clutter for consumers. Is personally relevant. So I do want to see content which makes sense to me. If I am married, then I'm wanting to see content on Karwa Chauth sales or, Diwali or so relevant content. Or if I've looked about a mobile phone sometime back, and if there are some new promotions coming on the latest iPhone, then that is relevant content for me, right? So, and again, is endorsed by a celebrity or an influencer, wants to make it more authentic.
And also the other point about influencers endorsing a product or brand is, and with the rise of vernacular, people consuming more in vernacular is, then it does not limit itself. The communication is not limited to just a translation, but actually capturing the essence of what the brand wants to talk about and what the consumer wants to hear.
No, absolutely, Tuhina. Absolutely well said. And I think just the fact that we are able to narrate a brand story through an influencer, one, ensures that the right story gets to the consumers. And second, also of it being extremely authentic, right? Somebody people could relate to. And also in a way also instills that aspiration with the consumer. So thank you for bringing that up, Tuhina. Influencers are on Instagram, and if you have not already heard about Love Runs Deep challenge on Instagram, go check it out. I think it is just creating a lot of buzz. 64% users say Instagram allows interaction with influencers. Social Beat themselves, I think, have their influencer business through influencer.in, and has been a key partner for Facebook as well in driving this narrative to market. So thank you, Vikas, Sunil, and the entire Social Beat team in helping brands enable this consumer journey through influencer marketing. And vernacular content resonates really well with Indian shoppers. So 68% consumers prefer to see advertising in their local language, and 51% think it's important to have information in their local language while shopping. So I think we should continue to leverage branded content ads to partner with brands. And we should leverage interest targeting, because most of the consumers want to see content which is relevant for them. And if you've already not seen the Love Runs Deep challenge on Instagram, I would request all of you guys to go check it out. So continuing the auto theme, Tuhina, for the audience, I promise Tuhina never saw my deck, so she did not know that auto is going to be such a big part of my deck. But Hyundai Aura launched with influencers using branded content ads on Facebook and Instagram platforms. and that helped them drive a 4.5% increase in awareness and about 4% increase in favorability. So branded content ads, leveraging influencers is one of the hot key narratives a lot of brands are looking forward to at this point in time. So do check that out. Also vernacular, right? I think this is a brilliant Cadbury's 5-star ad where Eat 5-star Do Nothing was the campaign. And if you see on the right-hand side, there was languages across the board. And I think it just resonated so well that free markets had significant lifts in the ad recall, ranging between 2.7% to 3.6%. I think last but not the least, I think this is the buzzword, the new buzzword, which is conversational commerce. When we got into the COVID times, it was marketing in uncertain times and uncertainty. I think the next buzzword is conversational commerce. As Indians, we love to do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions to our sales boys in the store before we make a purchase. So, this is almost like building a virtual model of a sales consultation inside a store, especially for categories which involve, which are more involvement categories for consumers. So let's look at some insights into that. 75% consumers in India have used chat or messaging app to connect with businesses. 62% have tried a new messaging or chat brand or provider for the first time. 77% have used a messaging service to contact a business. And 57% have used a messaging service to contact a business for the first time. When I first looked at the slide, when it was being presented in an internal forum, I anticipated, and this was a quiz for us, so I actually anticipated this to be in the 20s, 30s range. But the numbers here just startled me, right? Like 3/4 of our consumers are already trying out conversational commerce in some sense. And if this is not an area we are already playing in, we're missing out on a lot of consumers. Messaging services are used primarily as a means of providing frictionless shopping experience during festive season. Let's look at some specific data points. 61% consumers have used WhatsApp for messaging consultation with brands during festive. 36% have used Messenger, 24% have used Instagram, right? And commerce happens through messaging during festive for various purposes. Almost half of the consumers do it to track their orders. Almost half of them do it before buying a product. So they want to do a consultation on a chat before they buy a product. 43% use it to find out more details about a product. 37% do it to give feedback. 35% also do it to find out store information, right? So if you see various objectives, right from post-sales to consultation to feedback to driving offline sales and also to operational problem solving to resolve an issue, conversational commerce is up there. What should we do? What should we as advertisers and marketers do to drive that? We should use lead ads to connect with quality consumers, and we should handhold the purchase process of the consumers through click to Messenger, click to WhatsApp across their spectrums of consumer journey, whether they are in the consideration space or they are in the conversion space. Let's look at a couple of examples, where this was done. If you look at, let me know, Tuhina, if you're able to.
But the audio is not there in case this is supposed to have audio.
Okay, that's okay. Let's probably pilot this bot screen to see if it's still communicating the message we wanted to communicate. So it's a Flipkart Big Billion Sale bot, which Flipkart implemented using click to WhatsApp, and the brand saw 3.5x more conversions compared to when they were not using this. It gave them an incremental revenue of $2.5 million only on the back of this one single intervention. If we look at NoBroker implemented this to drive their property listings. It gave them 20x return on investment through cost savings when they implemented this chatbot. So if you're already not using APIs, click to WhatsApp and click to Messenger, we're missing out on 75% of our consumers who are already getting there, and very, very interesting area to be in. So that brings me to the summary slide of, what we wanted to talk about. I think to start off, we're already in the middle of gearing up for potential surge in demand. The second bit, look at the psychological, emotional connect with your consumers who are looking to start this journey earlier, to keep them motivated, keep them sane, and keep them excited about this virtual Diwali. Indian discover and purchase their favorite brands on Facebook family of apps, and the increasing role of mobile in this era. Then moving on to virtual experiences, starting with video, looking at playable ads and also looking at AR, VR filters to make it more engaging. The second last one is vernacular content to resonate with shoppers. How do you use stories? And the last one is conversational commerce. I can't emphasize more on, because we are at the beginning of starting a new wave of shopping behavior change in our consumers. And it is only upwards and onwards from here. So this is what I wanted to share in terms of the content, Tuhina. If there are any questions, happy to.
For the presentation, and we will be taking up questions now. I'm sure this was such a insightful deck, so there'll be a lot of questions coming up. And before we move on to the window where the questions will start, I wanted to ask a question to you. You emphasize so much on conversational commerce. And we also looked at an example of Flipkart and bigger players such as that. But we are also aware that, and also specifically since your area is SMBs, we know that IG today has so many small businesses. And typically, this whole journey of tracking my order, wanting to know about the material, this happens so much with the smaller businesses too, standalones like decor items or saris or things like that. So where do you see, the move for them? Like, how do they stand to benefit as business owners, and what should we as marketers be doing for them?
I think that's a very interesting question, Tuhina, and I think when we look at the journey of small businesses, for them to start off, every order really matters. So to an extent that if you talk to a small business owner, they would literally be tracking each order. Why did it get cancelled? If there were any operational issues in the orders they are getting. So I think just and also they are not large organizations, right, which have very strong mechanisms, processes to track all of those, which probably Amazon, Flipkart, and a lot of established brands would have, right? So conversational commerce, a lot of small businesses, what they're trying to do is to partner with various external experts and partners who help them provide operational support and backend support. We can integrate their platforms through conversational commerce, through WhatsApp APIs, and then they can leverage third-party providers to start off to leverage this benefit, because they don't have a very huge employee base, or they do not have large mechanisms, internal processes to be able to do that. So I think partnering with third-party providers on this could be good ideas. We do have a lot of Facebook partners who also help them integrate this journey through WhatsApp integration on the platform. So that would be my answer to that, Tuhina. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Tushar here wants to know that currently the IG shopping is not available to SMBs. So I think what he's wanting to know is if there is a plan around that.
So it's going to be exciting. Stay connected to Social Beat team. They will get back to you very soon on this answer.
Sure. Okay. Ajit wants to know, he first wants to congratulate you on sharing such great insights with us. And he also wants to know that what is going to be the roadmap for WhatsApp in financial services beyond payments?
I could almost anticipate that question coming. First of all, thank you so much, Ajit, for your comment and feedback. I really hope that the content was useful. We have exciting plans on WhatsApp as we speak. And I think globally there is a lot happening in the domain of WhatsApp, but I would not be able to comment on the plan ahead for 2021 given all the restrictions we have across the domain. This requires a lot of regulatory alignments. So we will come back out in media as soon as we have clarity on when and what. But of course, with the kind of reach WhatsApp has, with the kind of unlock WhatsApp is doing for us, starting off with conversational commerce, you'll hear a lot more in the space. Watch out for that.
Right. Thank you so much, Ajit. I hope that answers your query. The other question, Ruchi, that I have from the SP team internally is that, we've seen brands embracing vernacular so much during this period, and COVID has been such a tough time. We all spoke about marketing during uncertain times. Now we've moved to a next phase on that. So what has your personal journey been like? What are the sort of things that you have noticed in terms of Facebook ad surge, how brands are behaving and how brands try to capitalize on that phase?
Got it. Thank you, Tohina. I think that's a very, very interesting question. When this entire pandemic started, right, where it was very, very uncertain on what's going to happen, I think the first reaction brands had was, everyone is just in survival phase. Let's stop everything. So I think that was a starting point. The businesses completely got stalled, and the brands were extremely pessimistic on what will happen because my consumer is only not in the right frame of mind for me to do anything. So everything just stopped. That was the first phase. I think the second phase which followed was that this is here for a while. Consumers will still need to have some necessities. So let me start leveraging online as a channel to reach my consumer. Given that nobody is coming out, this is the only medium. Mobile phones are being used more than ever for everything, including a lot more Tata Sky, Netflix, Amazon Prime subscriptions, including a lot more hyperlocal play, including a lot more time spent on social media, right? So that was the second phase brands were in, where this was an alternate channel for brands to get sales. Also because businesses were shrinking, P&Ls were struggling. So all of that, this started to become like a higher, a channel, an alternate channel for performance marketing, where we would get some consumers and get some revenue. I think over the last quarter or so, what we have started to see brands do is actually look at this as one of the primary channels. And some cues I get are as follows. A lot of brands have revamped their websites. A lot of brands are looking at creating structural, infrastructural, platform level interventions, including API integrations, including a lot of tech interventions, which make us believe that brands have realized that this is here to stay. The other changing trends we've also seen brands do was they had some targeted consumers, and what they were trying to do was a lot of lower funnel activity to drive only performance, right? Over a period of 6 months, some of this funnel has also been kind of narrowed down, and they want to add more consumers to the funnel, and they are seeing traction, right? So a lot of upper funnel activity to drive awareness and consideration have also started to increase. So I think two fundamental shifts. And the third one is leveraging a lot more innovation which our platform provides, including AR, VR filters I spoke to you about, playable ads. So I think if I have to summarize the three trends which we are seeing, one, having this as one of the primary channels in the media mix, versus it being a secondary channel. And this complements e-commerce being a primary channel of sales for brands, right? The second one being looking at full funnel solutions versus just trying to drive performance through bottom funnel activities. And third, use of a lot more innovation versus just trying to get sales from the product. So I think there has been a paradigm shift in the mental model of how brands are leveraging this platform versus it being very transactional, or it being only lower funnel before we started this pandemic. Does that answer your question?
That does, absolutely does. Thank you so much. The other question that we have from Meenakshi here is, she says that this was extremely good content and very well presented. And she would like to hear your views on data protection on these platforms, because we are all aware that Facebook has done everything to keep things very transparent with the users and also protect privacy as much as possible. But I think she wants to understand what is next.
Sure. Thank you, Meenakshi. Again, thank you for your feedback. Glad that it was of some help. I think on data protection, like you would have heard across, I think if you're not following Facebook for Business page, please follow that. Everything which Mark talks about on data protection and privacy is available on Facebook for Business page. In one line, we're extremely cognizant and particular about data protection of our consumers, of our advertisers and partners we work with, and will continue to operate with that with highest integrity. So everything you want to know more about directly from Mark gets published on our Facebook for Business page. Please follow that page and do watch out for live updates on what technically the organization continues to do to ensure that data is protected and safe.
I think with this, we will bring this session to a close. And I'd like to thank you as well as Dart for all the help that you enable for us at Facebook. It has been excellent being your partners in this journey, and we cannot ask for any further support than you already do. So yeah, on that note, I wanted to sort of thank you and congratulate you for such a fabulous session today.
Thank you so much, Tuhina, Vikas, Sunil, Meghna, everybody on the Social Beat team. Siddharth leads the Social Beat engagement for us, and we have never been happier. Thank you, Social Beat, for being such a great partner for us. Whether it was trying to drive Thumb Stoppers as an initiative, or to drive influencer marketing, or continue to drive full funnel approach for us. Thank you for being such an ally for us. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ruchi. And over to you, Druhi.